time. We're just letting a few more people into the show. If you cannot get onto this Zoom, please go onto YouTube. We have a YouTube link, YouTube Live, that you can join us. I do want to let you know that we have the recipes after the show for anyone that sees any dish that they want to repeat or replicate or do their own twist on. We do have the delicious recipes to share with you. Please reach out to your Chabad house after the show so that you can enjoy these yummy, delicious recipes. So welcome to Shabbat in an hour across Long Island. With me today, I have Mushki, Rifki, Bela, Chavi, Khani, and Sashi. I am Chaya Lieberman, live from Chabad of West Hempstead. And I wanted to just let you know a few things before we start the show. So number one is that it is a Jewish minhag, a Jewish tradition to give tzedakah before we bake anything in our Jewish kitchen. Jewish mothers are always praying, Jewish wives, Jewish women are always praying, oh gosh, oh Hashem, please just let my food taste good. And so we know that if we give to others, and I'm going to put my dollar in the tzedakah box right now, that surely Hashem will help our food taste delicious too. So it is a mitzvah to have a tzedakah box anywhere in your house, but especially in your kitchen, so that you can give, could be just one coin to tzedakah, so that in that tzedakah, your food should taste delicious. That being said, I'm going to be showing you not how you make challah, but how we do the fillings of the challah. But I do want to start off with a short story. And we know that during the week, you know, especially now that everyone's on lockdown, everyone's home, we don't know if it's Sunday or Tuesday or Thursday, you turn around, the week is over, and where did the week fly by? But there is one day of the week that keeps us stable. There is one day of the week that keeps us grounded, and that is the day of Shabbos. We are so lucky to be Jews. We are so lucky to have the gift of Shabbos, because we know that when Shabbos comes, no matter how crazy our schedules are, how busy we are all going to be around that Shabbos table eating the delicious traditional Shabbos food. There was a story about a young man who was completely unaffiliated. He was not interested in this whole Yiddishkeit Judaism thing. He didn't stick his nose into anyone's business. No one stuck their nose into his business. He happened to be neighbors with a Shomer Shabbat family. And the Shomer Shabbat family was very, very friendly, always invited him over to their Friday night meal. And whenever he went, he said, don't tell me any Dvar Torahs, don't tell me any Shabbos songs. And the real reason that he would love to visit the Shomer Shabbat family was because he had a favorite dish. That dish was the onion from the chicken soup. Imagine, he would come every single Friday night to eat the onion of the chicken soup. And by sitting and eating his onion, he didn't realize how the Dvar Torahs were entering his brain, how the Shabbos songs were just entering his whole self. And before you know it, a few years down the line, he himself became Shomer Shabbat. So it's through the physical food of Shabbos that spiritually uplifts us. And so we are going to start. I'm going to take this opportunity, because I'm doing the challah, to make hafrashat challah, and to beg Hashem and pray to Hashem that this coronavirus should be behind us, that everyone that's not feeling well should have a refuah shalema, that everyone should have Yeshua. I know that a lot of people are having a very hard time business-wise, or they haven't seen their parents or children or relatives or neighbors for too long. And in honor of this hafrashat challah, I'm going to have all of you that are watching in mind, so that we should just have complete Yeshua, and this coronavirus garbage should be behind us, and we should see only brachas in our lives. So the first thing is I'm going to punch it down. I already did let this challah dough rise for 2 hours. If you want to know how to make a challah dough, call up your local Chabad house, and I'm sure the Rebbetzin will share her favorite recipe. I'm going to take a large chunk, and I'm going to make the bracha. Please say amen from where you are. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvosav v'tzivanu lahafrashat challah min ha'isa hareza challah. I'm going to wrap it up in my silver foil. There are 2 ways that you can burn this challah. Do not throw it in the garbage. Do not bury it outside. But you could either burn it on your stove top or in the oven. Just be aware that if you burn this in the oven, nothing else is allowed to be in your oven at the same time, because it's considered not kosher. So you burn it separately from all the other food that you're baking. When it's burnt, you take it out, and then you can throw it out. So that is my hafrashat challah, the piece for Hashem. I'm going to open up my blender, because today I'm going to show you an awesome way of filling your delicious challah and rolling it up in a super cool way. So today I'm going to need my garlic. In the recipe, I wrote about 20 pieces, but because my name is Chaya Rachel, I'm going to dump the whole thing in. We like to do things big here. I'm going to use about a half a cup or 2/3 cup of olive oil. You can really use any amount you like. I know some people are sticklers for recipe. So if you do need an exact recipe, you can use either a half a cup, which I know that's not exactly a half, but a half a cup or 2/3, whatever floats your boat. You're going to need about a teaspoon of oregano. And I'll put in two teaspoons because I like mine extra tasty. But of course, if you want to follow the recipe, it would be a half a teaspoon of oregano. And then you want to put in about a half a teaspoon of salt. Stick it all right in. We're going to blend it up until it's smooth-ish. Don't have it like baby food, but you don't want it too chunky. So we're going to go for smooth-ish. Okay, here we go. And that is perfectly smoothish. Now what I want to do is take my challah dough. I want to take off, I'm going to show you one challah, but you can do as many as your dough allows. So I'm going to take one chunk of challah dough. Now, because I'm pressed for time, or I like to imagine that I'm pressed for time, it just makes everyone feel so important to say that they're pressed for time. I am not going to braid this today. I want to show you a very cool thing that I'm going to do. And my trick always, when rolling the dough feels a little bit sticky, don't add flour. That's going to give you a very dry, tough dough. Just add a little bit of pan to your counter space, or you can add a little bit of oil. And so your dough will keep the softness and deliciousness, but it won't stick to your counter. I'll take my rolling pin. I'm going to roll out a nice flat sheet, just like that. Back and forth till I get it almost like a pizza dough. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the thickness of a pizza dough. And done. Let's call it a day. I have my spoon. I will take out a very generous size of the garlic mixture right in the middle. I'm then going to roll up my dough like a jelly roll. Do you see that? I'm going to roll it up like a jelly roll. No braiding. Remember, there is no braiding here. I'm going to hold it in half and just twist and turn my dough so that when I put it into the pan and it finishes rising, it's going to look just like a braid. Thank you for joining me today. I give you over to Mushki.
Hi, everyone. And you see me? Awesome. Okay, I'm Mushki Lipsker from Chabad of Delphi. Before, I'm going to show you how to make gefilte fish 3 ways. I just want to give 2 shout outs first, okay? We have some Delphi alumni on here, and Delphi is has a big nursing program, and some of the people logged in are actually right now working on the front lines in the hospital saving lives. So thank you to all of you. Thank you to all of those, and also the graduates graduated yesterday. So mazel tov to all the graduates who are in. It's nice to see your names. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to make gefilte fish, and it all starts with the frozen rolls of fish. You know, it starts off with the frozen rolls of fish, but I'll show you 4 different things that you could do with it. And they're so easy. I'll be less than 4 minutes. You can do it in all different kinds of pans, either in a loaf pan, you know, a square pan. I'm going to show you today in a muffin tin. So if you're doing it in a loaf pan or, you know, another pan, if you're doing it in a pan, you want to use Pam your pan first. But the muffin holders are non-stick, so you don't need to for muffin holders. I let my gefilte fish roll defrost. So over here is my gefilte fish roll. It does not have to defrost all the way, just enough that you can, you know, put it into, like shape it and form it into whatever you're putting it into. Okay, so I'm putting it into my muffin holders. And I like to do muffin holders, first of all, because it's very cute for the kids. The kids are very excited to eat it, but it also, if you take off the muffin, if you take off the wrapper, it's also very classy. So it's like perfect for kids, perfect for adults. But I also sometimes do some of these recipes in a round pan, you know, turned into a pie, and then I put it on a pie platter. Really, it's super flexible. Okay, so you see in my first two, I have fish in the first two. This is how easy the recipe is. Okay, first one, za'atar, amazing spice, literally pour it on, just a lot of it. The whole top should be green. And there you go, we're gonna bake that, see? That's one, okay? Second recipe, this wasn't in my original three, but it's so easy. And I know some of you do it with a whole loaf, but it's really good when it's done with a muffin tin, a drop of just marinara sauce, spicy, more sweet, chunky, whatever you want, literally. Take a spoon, spread it all over. And there you go. Now I have two, well, I could have done it neater, but there I have two kinds of fish ready to go into the oven, okay? I wouldn't put these in the same time though, because the one with the marinara sauce, you want it to be in there until it's like a dark brown. So you want it in a little bit longer. Okay, the third one, I'm going to show you four today actually. The third one is, I went to a friend in Pennsylvania and she had it, and I went probably like 3 years ago, and I think I've made it probably like almost every Shabbos since then. So, and this one also super flexible. I do it in a pan, I do it in a square, whatever, you know, depending on how many people I'm having or just what mood I'm in. So the first thing is, again, just put the fish. And there you go. So the bottom layer is fish, okay? The next layer is just a little spoon of mayonnaise. Okay, so put this on top of the fish and spread it out. The third one, the third step is dill. Now, I like to do it with fresh dill, but if I don't have fresh dill, I'll use dill spice, and it's also really good. But it's definitely better with fresh dill, but delicious with both. And you see a lot of dill. So I have the mayonnaise, I have the dill, and the last step is cherry tomatoes in half. So when I do it in a muffin tin, I like to make a little, just a minute. Just put it around neatly. Okay, these tomatoes are actually bigger than, they're bigger than my usual cherry tomatoes, but, so they're not as neat, but you see how I make like a flower with it? So, or if I'm doing it in this pan, what I'll do is I'll do like circles, what, you know, an outer layer, put like all the tomatoes in the outer layer, then go to the inner layer all the way to the middle. If I'm doing it in here or in a round pan, again, start with the outside until all the way you get to the inside, and bake, same thing. Now this one, all of these really, they take about like 30 to 35 minutes if you're baking it in muffin tins, and they take about an hour if you're baking it in a bigger pan, sometimes a little bit less, but they're all really the kind that you can tell when they're ready, you know, so don't worry about that. Okay, the last one that I'm doing, and I'm gonna do it today in here, but it's really beautiful when you do it in here. It's a tri-layer fish. It's really beautiful in here because then you have the slices, and when you put like a full slice on a plate with a little bit of marinara sauce, it's very, very pretty. It's a pink, white, and green fish. So I don't know if you've ever seen these. This is one brand, but they have frozen, they have rolls of salmon, you know, gefilte fish style salmon. So, and it's more pink as opposed to white, okay? So the first thing I'm gonna do is put this on the bottom. With all the other ones that I make, you can just dump in, it doesn't matter, it's all, you know, it'll all look, at the end, it all comes together. But with this one, just be a little bit careful. Like try to make it as even as possible, because when you take off the wrapper, the side, you know, you're able to see the colors, and it looks prettier when it's more even. So I put my, so you see I did about 1/3 of it on the bottom with the salmon. And now the middle layer I'm going to do is the white. I have heard of some people putting dill in it, but I don't, just because the top, some people do just 2 layers, you know, the pink, and then this with the dill. So it's like a 2-layer fish. I like to do a 3-layer fish. The last layer is frozen spinach mixed with, you know, sauteed with onions. So I take that and then put it on top. Cover it completely. You see, so all you see is the spinach. And then when it comes out of the oven, it's a beautiful pink, white, and green fish. And if you do it with slices, again, it's pink, white, and green, and you put like a little line of marinara sauce, and it's very, very, very pretty. And there you have it. 4 really easy ways to make gefilte fish. And I'm going to pass on the mic and the video to Rifki.
Myself. Yeah. Hi, everybody. Let me see. Mushki, do I go? Oh, hello, everybody. It's good to see everybody. Some new faces, some old faces. So in our home, Shabbos is I always call it my favorite day, our favorite day. And every week I ask the children, so what do you want me to make for Shabbos? Usually the answer is potato kugel, which I try to avoid. It means peeling a lot of potatoes, but sometimes I make it. Another one of my family's favorite is hummus. So my Shabbos guest favorite. And it's very easy. You do need a machine, a Cuisinart, a food processor. I call it my right hand. And once you start making homemade hummus, you would be reluctant to buy your own hummus. Instead, just make it at home. So you need 1 cup canned chickpeas, 1 cup, where's the tahina? Mousse, yeah. Get the tahina from the fridge. 1 cup tahini paste, 1 teaspoon lemon juice, 1 teaspoon salt, 1/2 teaspoon cumin, and 1/2 cup of water. I was just given a request that I should announce where I'm from. I'm Rifki Shiprin from Chabad of Little Neck. Okay, now I'll continue the recipe. So what you do is you take your tahini paste and 1 cup of it, and you put it in your food processor. And then you take your lemon juice, 1 tablespoon lemon juice. You take your 1 teaspoon salt. You take your cumin and your garlic, cloves of garlic. You can use fresh cloves. I like the frozen cubes because we need to do things easy. Okay. And now I'm going to blend it together. And as I blend it, I'm going to pour in water slowly through the spout over here. Give me a second. This plug might not work, or maybe this plug will. I tried it out. Okay. High speed and slowly pour the water till it's nice and smooth. Okay, now that the mixture is nice and smooth, I'm going to incorporate the canned chickpeas. Now, once I'm going to blend it. Sometimes everyone likes their hummus. Some people like chunkier hummus. Some people like creamy hummus. If you want it more creamy, you add water as necessary. If you like your hummus, once you taste it, you want a little more spice it according to taste. I know Chai Rachel said before that she doesn't follow recipes exact. I'm the one that follows recipes to the T, but you obviously could play around with it. So the hummus is ready. I like mine's a little more smooth. So this is where I'm going to veer from the recipe and just add a little more water. Okay, there it is. It's all ready. And now, let me just clean up as I go. Okay, now you can eat the hummus, put it in a bowl and enjoy it plain. You could dress up your hummus. And this is how I like to dress it up. I know in Israel, hummus is a very big deal. Everyone's into their hummus plates, hummus platters. You could spread the hummus on a plate. You could put some za'atar, paprika, smoked paprika, drizzle some olive oil on top. It's delicious. I got actually this idea that I'm doing right now. I got it from Jamie Geller. She runs her own channel. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a flat plate and I'm gonna plate the hummus. Spread it on a plate. You could do it with the back of a spoon or a spatula like this. And you're gonna spread it out on a plate. Okay, and now I'm gonna make a little well in the middle, just pushing the hummus to the side. Okay, and this is what I did earlier. I'm not gonna show you on video. But before I started, I took a red onion and a box of mushrooms. I cubed the onion and the mushrooms, and I sauteed them in a little bit of olive oil and added salt and pepper for flavor. Now what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna put the mushroom mixture, the mushroom and onion mixture in the middle of the hummus. Okay. And then if you'd like to garnish it, you could put some parsley around, some paprika, a little olive oil. It is delicious with challah, crackers. You could use it for Shabbos, Yom Tov, or any special occasion in your family. And it's delicious. It's a protein. It's healthy. And anything in honor of the Shabbos is always beautiful and yummy and delicious. So good to see you all. And now I'm going to introduce my fellow colleague, Bela Goodman from Chabad of the Beaches. Take it away, Bela.
Okay. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Chabad of the Beaches kitchen. So everybody loves a great salad. There is no meal that is complete. You know, you got your entrees, you got the challah, the bread, the dips, the soup, whatever it is, but you always need a great salad or two to accompany whatever it is that you're eating. So tonight, we are going to share with you the recipe to a delicious salad. We dubbed it the sweet summer kale salad. Those of you who like kale. So actually, the first time that I actually was introduced to the salad was from my sister, Chani Weinfeld. She brought it with her all the way up from Florida. And since then, I've been making different variations of this salad because it's so good. So let's begin. She's going to come on in a second. She's going to help me with the dressing, and we're going to make a delicious salad. So first things first, what we're going to do is we are
Sorry, guys, just a little bit of technical difficulties. Bayla will be up in just another couple moments.
Never again. I'm not sure if you guys hear. Do you hear me, everyone?
Yes, we hear you.
Okay. I'm not sure what happened, but we switched. We're on. Let's continue. So we're about to start, and we're starting with 2 sweet potatoes. I'll just go over the ingredients really quickly. Do you want to show? Yeah. So we got kale over here. We got shredded white cabbage. We got roasted sweet potatoes. We got chopped finely some scallions here, delicious dates chopped finely. We got pomegranate seeds, and this is optional. We'll throw this on at the end. One of my favorite. We got some great crunchy onion topping. So the first thing you need to do is you need to peel and finely dice your sweet potatoes. So we got that right over here. And then you take some olive oil, you drizzle it over the sweet potato. Okay, you can be more liberal if you want with that. Then you got some salt and pepper. So you sprinkle it over the sweet potato. And then you mix it up a little bit just to make sure that the seasoning hits most of the pieces. And then your oven goes on 400 and you put it in for about 30 minutes, 35 minutes. You want to get a nice golden brownish orangish color. It's going to be delicious. And meanwhile, we work on the kale. So kale can be a very finicky type of a green. So what do I mean? Well, first of all, before we start, we know that all fruits and vegetables are kosher. But if there are some fruits and vegetables that have a lot of bugs in them. So kale is one of those that, we don't always see it to the naked eye, but they usually are infested. Even those packs that you can buy in Stop and Shop, Trader Joe's, they do have bugs in them. So what we do always first in a kosher kitchen is we take the kale, we soak it with a bowl of water. You can add a little bit of, there's like a soap that you can use for vegetables, and you mix it and you let it sit for a couple minutes, and then you rinse every single piece really, really well, and you can check it afterwards. You dry it with the salad spinner, and we did all that before we came on tonight, so we're ready to go. And what I wanted to share about the kale is that it's, I read this in a few cookbooks actually, really interesting. If you massage the kale a little bit, it sounds kind of odd, but if you massage it, it actually takes out some of the bitterness, because kale can be a very bitter green and also a little stiff. So you kind of, when you're cutting, instead of cutting, you kind of rip them apart, put them into bite-sized pieces. And while you're doing that, you massage it a little bit. It sounds a little funny. First we soak it in a bath of water, then we wash it, then we massage it. I mean, kale's doing pretty well. So after we do that, we got the kale. It looks nice and ready. It's fresh, it's crispy. We get a little bit of the bitterness out. We massage it, we're ready to go. So first thing is, we're going to add sliced green cabbage in this. And this also was washed and soaked and checked before we applied it. And nowadays, especially on Long Island, you can probably find the kosher variety where you find a package and if it has a kosher symbol on it, that means that it was pre-washed, pre-checked, and you're good to go. You can skip that step. So you sprinkle it over your salad, gives it a nice crunch, okay? Then we have the sweet potato. We prepped it, came out of the oven. Look how nice it looks. Got some of them are really brown, soft, very sweet, succulent. Spread it over the salad. Look how it gives it a nice orange, a nice summery kick to it. Look at how the greens and the orange blend together. So we got that. Then we're gonna put in the dates. Now this recipe also, you can use figs. I'm a date person, I love dates. Really fresh, smell delicious, nice and sweet. So they're very sticky. You gotta spread them out and break them up a little. So you cut them up and you throw them over the salad. This adds a really nice element of sweetness. And then you got scallions, finely chopped. Sprinkle them in, you add more of the green. Look how beautiful that is, okay? And this is one of my favorite pomegranate seeds. You can never have enough of these. I usually buy them when I buy them for Shabbos and I hide them on the top of the fridge of my shelf for salad dressings and toppings. And my kids usually get to it and there's always like, why are you wasting it on a salad? We want it. And I'm lucky if we make it till Shabbos. So here's the pomegranate seeds and look how that adds just a really nice pop of color, of flavor, of crunch to the salad. So there's the beautiful salad. And this is optional. I throw this in. You know when your husband goes shopping and comes back with a lot of things that weren't on the list? This was one of those casualties. He came home with this crunchy onion topping and it's been a favorite ever since. It was something that now we add to a lot of our salads. It gives it a great crunch, a great taste, great flavor. And look how beautiful that looks. Just real nice. So there's our beautiful salad dish that we are going to put on our table for Shabbat. And now I'd like to pass it on to Chani, who actually introduced me to the salad originally. My sister, she lives here in Long Beach with us. And she is going to show us how to dress this magnificent salad. Chani.
Hi, everybody. Thank you, Bela, for that beautiful demonstration. So we have all of our dressings ready here. We always start with our base, the oil. Even though, oil is something that we need, it's a little bit of fat, but we need it in every salad and it makes the base for a magnificent dressing. So we're gonna pour our oil in any bowl, anything that you have around that you want to use to put all of your dressing in. And then we're gonna use something a little bit bigger. We're gonna start off with this. You start off with your oil. So this is the concept of the dressing. You always want to have 3 to 1. So if you're going to have oil, you always have 3 to 1. Like if you have 3 spoons of oil, you have 1 spoon of vinegar. The vinegar in this salad today, you could use any vinegar you want. You could use white, you could use red wine, you could use balsamic. I have balsamic here. So we pour it inside of the oil. Okay. And then we add some delicious mustard. We have sweet and spicy here. You could use Dijon or regular, whatever you like. You put it into your dressing. Then we have sweetener. We have honey here. We always need a little bit of sweetener to give it a little tanginess, little sweetness. And this, we have honey. You could use sugar. You could use agave, whatever you have in your house. If you're on a diet, you could use stevia. Whatever you want, just a little bit in. It's really about a tablespoon of honey. Then we take our black pepper, and you could either have fresh garlic diced, or you could use garlic powder, which is what we have. And now you just pour it into your dressing. Now you could give it a mix with your spoon. It's a nice size bowl. You can give it a mix with your spoon till you get like some good, a good consistency here. Like a good consistency where all the honey, the mustard, the sugar, the oil all becomes like very it's like a good, nice combination of the dressing. Over here, I'm using like a big measuring cup. If you have something like this, if you don't like mixing it, you want to just shake it up, you could shake it up in something like this. I'm just using this today. And once you're done with that, you just take your dressing and you just drizzle it really slowly and nicely on top of your salad. You could do this before the Shabbos meal and leave it like this if you wanted to just look a little nice before it gets mixed. And you could put 2 beautiful serving spoons inside like that. You could serve it just like that. Or the salad actually does very well. It has a nice shelf life in the fridge, of course. You could even mix it up before the meal and have it with the dressings and everything, and all the flavors go in beautifully and it tastes delicious. And it really does well in the fridge overnight. You could serve it Shabbos day as well if you have any extras or any leftovers, which you probably won't have. Right, you may not have. So, yes, thank you, Connie. Before we go, I just want to make, of course, you know, when you're cooking in the kitchen for hours, sometimes a little glass of wine goes a long way. So, l'chaim, l'chaim, l'chaim to good news, to good things, l'chaim to Shabbos.
Amen.
I'd love to pass on the show. Have a good Shabbos. Good Shabbos. We're going to travel to Chabad of Merrick, to Mrs. Connie Kramer in her kitchen. Thank you for watching. Now they muted you. Make many cameras. Excellent.
Hello, I'm Connie Kramer. Thank you, Bela, for that introduction. So we're here in Merrick, and today I'm going to show you how to make one of my favorite Shabbos chicken dishes. If you looked at the menu, it's called honey garlic lemon chicken, and I actually got the recipe from my sister Rifki, who presented before from Little Neck. She got it from Miriam Pascal's kosher cookbook. I forget what the name is. But she actually took the recipe and varied it a little bit because it had oregano in it, and she kind of made it her own. And when I went to her for Shabbos a few months ago, it was really, really yummy. And so it became one of our family favorites. So tonight, I'm going to show you how to do it. So the first thing you need is very simple, really easy. That's what I love about it. So first thing you need is 4 chicken legs, which I'm going to show you. I have it all ready, prepared in the pan. I don't know if you can see it. Very easy, just wash it, pat it dry, clean, cut off the fats, and then we go with our recipe. The recipe will be posted afterwards. We'll start with 1/4 cup olive oil. This is my olive oil that I already pre-measured. So I'm going to use this fancy container to mix everything, but really any container is fine, just to mix all the sauce ingredients together. So 1/4 cup of olive oil, 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. You can squeeze a fresh lemon, that's yummy. And of course, you can also use lemon juice, whatever is easier for you. They both come out really delicious. Next is 1 teaspoon of salt. I like to use sea salt. Next is 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper. And then you put in 6 cloves of crushed garlic. So you can either get fresh garlic and squeeze it, or like Ricky said, because we like to do things fast around here, you can use the frozen garlic cubes. So those are my favorite. You just pop them in. And then you add a little bit of honey. There's no exact measurement for the honey, so I just take my honey and I just squeeze away. Wait, where? Hey, you think this is enough? Now comes the fun part. This is why I love this container. You close your container. Hey, you want to shake it? One of the things that are great about having your kids home is that lots of young helpers who can help you cook and bake and mix and shake and do all the hard work. So then all we have to do is just Spread it. Now it's nice and creamy. Now what we're going to do is, so there's a few things you can do. If you have time, you can marinate the chicken in this sauce. You can put it in a bag. I generally just pour it right over my chicken. And then I like to take a pastry brush and rub it into the chicken so that it really goes in. And I do not take off the skin. I leave the skin on because it keeps it really nice and moist. I also turn it over. And I do the same thing with the rest of the dressing. Leia, you want to pour the rest? No. I think she's getting scared from the way this looks. Okay. And now you can just get out the rest of the dressing, rub it in, and then turn it back over. You can let it marinate for a little bit, or you can just put it right into your oven. This is as easy as it gets. And by the way, I forgot to mention, you should preheat your oven to 350 before starting this, so that by the time you have everything together, it's ready to go in the oven. So this is how it looks. And it goes in the oven. And bake it uncovered for 1.5 hours. And once it's after 1.5 hours, you take it out, and voila, you have this awesome, delicious, look how, I don't know if you can see this, but it's dark, roasted, moist, and delicious. I was telling my kids that I was showing everyone how to make this honey garlic lemon chicken, and they said, Ma, you have to tell them about the apricot chicken. So I'm just gonna give you a quick kitchen hack. You can take, if you wanna do something super easy, you can take duck sauce, that's all you need, some duck sauce. And the same way I showed you before, you lay the 4 pieces of chicken in the pan, you pour the duck sauce over the chicken, the raw chicken, and you do the same thing, you bake it uncovered for 1.5 hours, and then it comes out looking like very similar to this chicken that I just made. I made it tonight because my kids, it's one of my kids' favorites. Kids love any chicken that's sweet. And so this is my duck sauce chicken. So you earn 2 recipes. That's my kitchen hack for tonight. And we love eating chicken on Shabbos. It's a mitzvah on to honor the Shabbos with, it says basar v'dagim, which means meat and fish. So every Shabbos we make a special chicken dish or meat dish in honor of the Shabbos. And we love making this recipe because it's so easy and so yummy. So that's my presentation for tonight. And thank you all for joining me. And now I'm going to pass the mic on to Javi Lieberman from, she'll tell you where she is. Javi, you ready? Chabad of Oceanside. Good night, everybody.
Okay, hi everybody. Welcome to the kitchen. I have here two of my trusty helpers. My name is Javi Lieberman, and we have a Chabad house for college students at Hofstra University and Nassau Community College. Tonight, I'm going to make a recipe that my mother has been making for years, and in my house growing up, it is a family favorite. So much so that when there's a leftover piece of kugel, like for Shabbos day or whatever, it's known to have fights in my family between the siblings who gets the last piece of kugel. Also, my kids really like it. It's actually Rachel's favorite food in the whole world, that when it's her birthday, she says, can you make broccoli kugel for my birthday cake? And Rachel's birthday is next week, so this is maybe a preview to her birthday cake. So we start with a frozen bag of broccoli cuts or chopped broccoli, 24 ounces to 36 ounces. So 1.5 pounds to 2 pounds is enough for a 9 by 13 pan. or you can use 1 pound bag for a 9 by 13 for a 9-inch round pen. So you take your broccoli and you put it in a pot with a little bit of water. Like, you don't cover the whole broccoli, just like a little bit of the bottom of the pot, so that the broccoli boils and until it becomes defrosted, soft, and mushy. You can actually really make this all in the same pot, but because I boiled this before and I doubled the recipe so I could feed my family for Shabbos, I then half the recipe back and put it in and I'm making it in a bowl, but you don't need to make more dishes dirty. You can really just do it straight in the pot. So here we have about 24 to 36 ounces of broccoli that's already been cooked, boiled, and steamed. To that, we're going to add 2 eggs, which I'm going to check for blood spots right now. We always have to check our eggs for blood spots. And just pour it straight in. To that, we're gonna add 2 tablespoons of mayonnaise. It's also a very forgiving recipe, so you could adjust it to your taste. You could do heaping tablespoons, you could do more, you could do less. You can add an additional egg if you want to stretch it, whatever it is. And this is a very secret, I don't know, secret, but key ingredient is onion soup mix. You can get it by Osem, or I guess any of other brands that are making it. Lipton comes in packets, and you put in 2 tablespoons of that. Mix that all together. And then, just a second to mix that up. In the meantime, while Rivka's mixing, I'm going to just spray my pan with some nonstick spray. Also, this is a very easy recipe that can be adapted for gluten-free, and also it can also be made elegant or fancier. If you want, you can make it. You're gonna rip it. You could put it in little muffin tins, individual muffin tins, and then have like little individual kugelettes to serve if you're doing a more elegant, fancier meal. Okay, so Rivka mixed that all up. And now, depending on how liquidy your batter is, that's how much flour we're going to add to the kugel. If you want it, if you're boiled with a lot of water, then you'll add, and there's a lot of water left, then you'll add more flour. If you let it boil for a long time and the water boiled out, or you steamed it, it won't need as much flour. In this case today, actually, because the broccoli has been sitting for a while, it absorbed back a lot of the water that it was sitting in. But I'm still going to add a little bit of flour, just to get as a binder. I'm just going to do it. I'm going to give it a little mix, and then depending on this consistency that you like, you can add more. You can use cornstarch or potato starch instead if you want a gluten-free version. And you can even leave a thickener out at all, add another egg, or just leave the 2 eggs for more of like a quiche consistency. So we stir that up. I usually give it a taste now, but I won't do that on camera. And then just salt and pepper to taste to see, like, based on what the taste was. And we are almost done. Dump it into a pan. You spread it nicely. Not now. Don't now. And here we go. Put it into a 350-degree oven and bake it for 45 minutes to an hour. It's also good cold if you have like leftovers for Shabbos day. It doesn't have to be reheated. You can just either take it out of the fridge and bring it to room temperature, or even eat it cold. If it lasts through Shabbos, I'll even eat it like as a snack on Sunday. I fool myself into thinking it's healthy because it's made with broccoli. So it's a great diet food, even though it has some other not so healthy things that go inside of it, but it's still very yummy. And you're welcome to try it out at home and taste it as well. Now I'm going to pass the camera on to Sashi Gurka from Chabad of Oceanside, who is going to make I think this is a universal favorite of everybody. She's going to show us how she makes her potato kugel. Good Shabbos. Okay, pass it on to her. Where's Sashi? See her?
Hi, everyone. My name is Sashi Gurka, and I'm from Chabad of Oceanside, Long Island. So welcome to my kitchen. I am so excited to share with you everyone's favorite, I'm sure, potato kugel. So before I ever made potato kugel, it actually scared me, the idea of making potato kugel, using the food processor and having it come out crusty and perfect. But after I started making it, I realized that it's one of the simplest things to actually make. So please join me as we go through all the steps to making a perfect, crusty, delicious potato kugel. Here's the ingredients you need in case you bought them to follow along with me. You're going to need a 5-pound bag of potatoes. Russet potatoes is actually the best potatoes to use. Or if you don't have the 5-pound bag, you can use 8 or 9 large loose potatoes. You're going to need oil. Yep, I was lucky enough to get to Costco. The line wasn't too bad. Yeah, a spray, a canola oil or olive oil spray for the pan. Black pepper, salt, an onion, and 5 eggs. That's all you're going to need. Potato kugel is actually one of the cleanest things you can eat. It has potatoes in it, but other than that, it has really just a few basic ingredients. So we're going to start our potato kugel. For those of you that have a food processor, that's the easiest to use. If you don't have a food processor, you're welcome to use, let me think, I don't even know what it's called, a grater. I grew up with my mother using this, and like my husband likes to say to me, it's called a ribizin. So for those of you that grew up in your mother, back when your parents used to call things by the Yiddish names, this was known as a ribizin. So we have our ingredients, we have our utensils, and now we're gonna get ready to start. So first thing, a bowl. You need a bowl. You're gonna take in the bowl 5 checked eggs. We always check our eggs to make sure there's no blood spots. That would make it kosher. You take your 5 eggs that were pre-checked already and pour it into your bowl. Next ingredient, you have 3/4 of a cup oil. Here it's canola oil. If you don't use canola and you like to use olive, you're welcome to use olive oil. 3/4 of a cup is joining my 5 eggs. Over here you have 1 tablespoon of salt. And really that's the perfect amount. I personally like things salty. I tend to use a drop more, but then my husband won't eat it. So if you want to keep everybody happy, especially during these tense times, I would say stick to 1 tablespoon of salt. Pour it in as well. And then you have the pepper. The pepper is really to taste. So I would say here I have about 1/4 teaspoon pepper. Pour it in as well. So in here I have everything I'm going to need aside from the potatoes and onions. I give it a quick whisk it all together. I have it all ready on the side. I'm whisking it. I'm getting everything all together. Let me show you how this looks once it's whisked. Okay, and I'm going to move it aside because now I don't need it. My next ingredient that I'm going to do is the onion. I take the onion. Here I already have it pre-chopped. I'm going to put it in the food processor. Now, which blade do I use for the onion? It's called the S blade. It sort of looks like an S. Your food processor will come with a blade that looks like this. This blade purees it. This actually makes it mush. So for your onion, you're going to use the S blade. You're going to take your blade, put it into your food processor, take the onion that you chopped up. You don't even have to chop it up. Add it to your food processor. And then make sure you cover it. Well, it doesn't want to really work, but okay. And then we're going to take the top because we don't want to get onion all over our kitchen. And we're going to, okay. If you look now, your onion is pulsed. It's going to look like this, like mushed onion. This pureed onion. This does not have to come out of the food processor. Leave it in the food processor, even as we add the potatoes. There's no need to make another dish dirty. I'm just doing this here for you to see it. But in general, I'll leave the onion in the food processor. All I'm going to do now is change the blade. I'm going to take out my S blade that I used. I don't need it anymore. The S blade was only used for the onion. Put away my S blade. And now I'm going to look at a disc. Some food processors come with something called a kugel disc, or you use this disc and you look at the side that says shred. That's the side that you want. The side that says shred. That's going to be facing up. So you're going to take this side that says shred and you're going to put it into your food processor. Okay? And then you're going to cover your food processor. Now, what I normally would do is peel 5 pounds of potatoes and have all the potatoes sitting on the side in a bowl of water so that when you're ready to go on to the next step, your potatoes are ready. This food processor comes with a large enough spout that I don't even have to chop up the potato. It actually fits in the spout. So I would take the potato, put it straight in the spout. I don't know if you can see. Here, take the potato, put it straight into the spout and just turn it on. And I would do that for all the potatoes. And what's going to happen is you're actually going to, this whole thing is going to fill up with potato and eggs. Oh no, sorry, with the onion and potatoes. You're going to have a full bowl. It's going to be completely full. And then you'll take it out, take off your disc that's on top. And you're going to take this and you're going to turn it over into a larger bowl. Okay? So you have your potatoes in the bowl already. I pre-made the potatoes. You're going to add your onion. Normally, I don't add the onion, like I said, because it's all mixed together. And then you're going to add the bowl that you made in the beginning with the eggs, the oil, the salt, and the pepper. And you're going to add the entire thing to the mixture. Okay? Then, to make things easy, you're going to put on gloves, especially now since we're so used to putting on gloves. It's become second nature to most of us. So the easiest thing is to mix the whole mixture by hand. And you're just going to mix everything together. You're going to mix your potatoes, your onion, and your egg, oil, salt, and pepper mixture together. Okay, so now you just mix everything together. And what do you do next? So you have options. Most people simply do the 9x13 pan. We would spray a 9x13 pan, spray it, and then we would pour it, and we'd get a beautiful potato kugel. You could use parchment paper first, and then do this. However, you have options. You could take 2 halves of a 9x13 and use those and have 2 kugels. Freeze one and eat one. Or use one for Shabbos day and one for Friday night. And then you have another option. I've been giving out some Shabbos bags every week. And since we give out very many, we make potato kugels with these. So for this size potato kugels, you have four of these. So you can actually use any size pans. And then of course, you can make them in glass, Pyrex pans, whatever you'd like. Then it's all ready. I preheated my oven to 450 and I put it in my oven for 2 hours. If your oven is very hot and you see during the course of the second hour, it's starting to get too brown, you can lower it to 350. But of course, who doesn't want it to be crusty and delicious? So I would tell you 2 hours it should be baking. So I baked it for 2 hours and we're all waiting. The smell that's coming out is so unreal because nothing smells better than a house that just had a potato kugel bake. So if you're going to sell your house and you're thinking of moving, which I hope you're not, forget about the cinnamon sticks. Stick a potato kugel in the oven. No one will want to leave the house. So I finished, and now my beautiful potato kugel is now ready. Crusty, delicious. And in our house, it's wonderful. I love the crust, like most of you probably. My husband loves the mush. He even leaves the crust. So it's perfect. He eats the inside, I eat the outside. And now I'm gonna cut myself so I can share with you. Not cut myself, cut a delicious piece of potato kugel. Oh, heaven, delicious. I'd invite you all over to my house to share with me. Unfortunately, social distancing. But of course, if anybody would like one delivered to their house tomorrow, especially if you live local, but even if you don't, give us a holler and we'll be glad to drop off a hot, delicious potato kugel. It was my pleasure teaching you the tricks of a potato kugel. I hope you were able to take some of this and really go make your next potato kugel. And if you need if you have any other questions or anything, just reach out and I'll continue with teaching you how to make a delicious potato kugel. Thank you. And now I'm going to pass this over to my friend and local colleague, Chani Wallowik in the 5 Towns, and she'll continue with some delicious desserts. Nice to see you all. Shabbat Shalom.
Hi, everyone. So nice to see everyone. And I know the hour's a little late. I'm going to try and be quick. I'm the luckiest. I get to make the delicious desserts. I'm going to show you 2 very quick desserts tonight. It was a real struggle. Apples, chocolate, hot apples, chocolate. So we're going to do both really quickly. So for our apple crisp, I like it a little bit tart. So I do Granny Smith apples. So I diced 5 Granny Smith apples, and to that I'm adding sugar, cinnamon, and apricot preserves. Apricot preserves. 2 tablespoons of apricot preserves, 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, and 3 tablespoons of sugar. To make the crumble, I'm going to put 1 cup of flour, 1/4 cup of brown sugar, 1/2 cup of regular sugar, and 1/2 cup of oil. And I'm going to add that together and I'm going to mix it. And I pre-mix it together and it's going to come out to be a very nice crumble just like this. I will then take my apple mixture and put it into a pan. The crumbs on top, and here you have a delicious hot apple crisp baked on 350 for 1 hour. You can make it also if you like, either in like little individual cups, ramekins, or muffin tins. And here's the apple crisp. For the chocolate mousse, this is really the easiest recipe. I get requests for this recipe all the time. It's 3 ingredients. I boiled 1 cup of soy milk. You could do non-dairy creamer. You could do any type of milk you'd like if you want to make it dairy. This is 1 cup of soy milk oil. I'm gonna pour that on top of 10 ounces of chocolate chips, regular, delicious chocolate chips. Gonna pour it on top, take my spoon, and the heat of the milk is going to melt the chocolate chips. Chocolate chips are gonna be melted. They become a little bit liquidy. And then I take 16 ounces, which is 2 of those little small Rich's whips. And I put them up together. Until they're stiff. You see a little bit of peaks forming. And then I'll take my hot chocolate mixture and gently pour it in and fold the chocolate into the whip. It becomes together, gels together, and it remains a little bit liquidy. You have to remember that as it hardens, it will expand a little bit. You can use a Ziploc bag, very creative, and snip a little hole on the bottom and pour it into any type of a cup that you want. And there you have your chocolate mousse cup. And to make it a little bit more dressed, you can take your trusty little sandwich cookies, put them into crush them in any way you want through a blender, or even just, with the back of a spoon, pour it on top, and voila, we have our beautiful chocolate mousse cups, which are delicious for everybody to enjoy. So hopefully you enjoyed the apple and the chocolate mousse. And being that I'm going to finish up, I'm just going to want to give everybody a blessing. This was a beautiful, beautiful night of unity with 8 Chabad centers joining together. We reached our maximum capacity of 100 women on our Zoom account, and way over 100 women joining us on YouTube Live. This week, if we were in our Chabad centers or in our temples or in our shuls, we would be finishing the 3rd book of the Torah, the book of Leviticus. We are finishing it anyway, but we would be saying in shul the words Chazak, Chazak, V'nis Chazek, which is strength, strength, and be strengthened. And my wish to all of us as we sit here in our own comfort of our own homes is that we are blessed by God with strength, the strength of unity, the strength of pride, the strength of health, the strength of kindness to each other, and the strength of ourselves connecting and reconnecting to Torah. And may we together all merit the ultimate strength, and that is when we'll be reunited together physically with the coming of Mashiach, and may it be speedily in our days. Thank you all so much for joining us, and looking forward to seeing you all again really soon. The Chabad.